It was nearly midnight when he called me a bitch. Not just that, a raging bitch. And then, a word so sharp it made my heart drop. The kind of word that slices through the air like broken glass. And all I could do was stand there, 9 months pregnant, stomach tight, eyes stinging, trying to make sense of what was happening. He was angry, red-faced, clenched jaw, and standing beside him, his so-called best friend, Madison, eyes full of crocodile tears, holding her phone like a dagger. That was the moment everything I thought I knew about love, about him, collapsed. You think the man you're going to marry, the father of your child, will know you, will trust you, will listen to you. Instead, he looked me in the eye and believed someone who'd always hated me. I didn't even get to explain myself. He had already made up his mind that I was cruel, that I was dramatic, that I was disposable. He kicked me out of our home that night, and as I turned to leave, trying to hold it together for the sake of my unborn daughter, I felt a sharp pain ripple through my lower belly. A cramp, I thought. Maybe Braxton Hicks. Maybe stress. But when I winced, when I instinctively wrapped my arms around myself, he scoffed. "Stop faking." That's what he said. No concern. No hand on my shoulder. Just suspicion. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I didn't even cry. Yet. I walked out into the night with a suitcase and a stomach full of pain. On the way to my mom's house, that pain intensified. Then suddenly, my water broke. I panicked, spun the car around, made for the hospital, alone. Through gritted teeth and blurry vision, I called him. He declined the call. He declined the call. I could have been bleeding. I could have been dying. I could have been trying to tell him his daughter was coming into the world. And he chose to silence me. I reached the hospital. Barely. They rushed me in. No time for an epidural. No time for anything but pain and pushing and panic. I gave birth to our daughter, Grace Noel, alone. No hand to hold. No whispered encouragement. No father in the room. Just me, gasping through contractions, holding on to the rails of the bed like they were the last thing tethering me to this earth. 2 hours of labor, 8 pounds of life, and he wasn't there. Not because he couldn't be, but because he wouldn't be. That was the moment I knew. Something had broken beyond repair. So I did the only thing I could think of. I took my phone, I opened Facebook, and I posted everything. Every vile message Madison had ever sent me. Every slur. Every disgusting name she called my unborn child. Every bit of venom she'd hidden behind her best friend mask. I let the world see it. Let him see it. Within an hour, my phone rang. It was him. He asked if we could talk. I told him where I was. He showed up 42 minutes later. He looked wrecked, disheveled, like someone who had just realized they'd burned their house down with their family still inside. But it was too late. He'd left me alone in the most vulnerable moment of my life. He'd believed a racist over the woman carrying his child. He'd called me names no woman should ever hear from the person she loves. And he'd shut me out, literally and emotionally, when I needed him most. He's tried to apologize, over and over again. Texts, calls, pleas. But how do you unhear words like that? How do you forget being thrown out, belly full of baby, contractions beginning, and being told you were faking? How do you forgive the silence on the other end of the line, when all you wanted was for him to answer? I used to imagine us together in the delivery room, his hand in mine, his tears when he saw his daughter for the first time. Instead, I got sterile walls, a nurse I didn't know holding my shoulder, the sound of Grace's first cry echoing in a room that felt far too empty. He wasn't there, and no amount of "I'm sorry" can change that. What makes it worse, what makes it unforgivable, is that this all started over a text message. Yes, I told Madison to back off, told her she wouldn't be welcome near our child. But I said that after she sent me messages dripping with hate, racist messages, the kind that made my stomach turn. She called my baby a slur. She called me something I won't repeat here. And instead of defending me, instead of asking what happened, he rushed to her side. He made her tears his truth. He made my pain an inconvenience. I hadn't even told him about the messages at first. Why? Because I didn't want to be the one to destroy a lifelong friendship. Because I thought maybe she was lashing out from something personal. That maybe, with time, it would pass. Because I still wanted to believe people could change. But she didn't. And neither did he. Even after seeing the messages, he didn't cut her off. He still talks to her. He still defends her. So I ask you, am I the asshole for not forgiving him? For not pretending it didn't matter? For not wiping the slate clean just because he says the right words now? Because when I think about that night, when I remember standing outside our door, cramping, scared, and alone, all I hear is him saying I was faking it. All I feel is my baby kicking as I drove myself to the hospital. And all I see is her face, brand new to the world, eyes wide and crying. And her father not there. So no, I don't think I can forgive him. Not for this. Not ever. So, am I the asshole? This story hits like a freight train. It's not just about a man missing the birth of his child. It's about betrayal at the most primal, vulnerable level. It's about trust shattered, not by distance or tragedy, but by choice. He chose his friend over his partner. He chose silence over presence. He chose suspicion over love. And for what? A text message, a moment of truth that, when seen in full, wasn't cruel. It was protective. The heartbreaking part? She still tried to understand. She still gave him a chance to hear her out. And he slammed the door in her face. To anyone listening who has ever doubted their worth because someone made them feel replaceable. To every woman who's ever swallowed their pain to keep the peace. To every mother who's ever done it alone, not because she wanted to, but because she had no choice. This story is for you. Forgiveness is powerful, but so is self-respect. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not go back. Not because you're bitter, but because you finally believe you deserve better. So let us know in the comments. What would you do? Could you ever forgive something like this? Or is missing the birth of your child, when you had the choice not to, the ultimate point of no return? This is AITA Story Vault. Subscribe for more stories that cut deep. We'll see you next time.